Governor Greg Abbott hits East Texas with his campaign message. We break down his proposed tax overhaul and what it can mean for your wallet coming up next. Plus, after 43 days, the federal government reopened this morning. Federal workers are back. SNAP benefits are being restored, but flights could still face some delays. More on that coming up. And a new investigation is shining light on a dangerous 18-wheeler crashes over Texas. Now, truckers are facing tougher inspections to meet new safety standards. We'll have the latest next.
And we're tracking some foggy spots across the area this morning. I'll let you know just how long that'll last in your full forecast coming up. So stay right there because CBS19 Plus, or you're watching CBS19 Plus, morning y'all.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus.
After 43 days, the federal government has reopened this morning. Federal workers have returned to work. SNAP benefits will be restored and flights might still be delayed. The funding bill runs through January and lawmakers are working to lower rising the cost of Obamacare. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for staying with us here. Dana Dixon has the week off. First off, let's get a check on that forecast with Joel. Joel, you mentioned parts of our areas could be a little bit foggy. How's it looking out there this morning?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got areas with no visibility whatsoever, very low visibilities across much of East Texas this morning. We're working with some very thick fog across parts of the area. Henderson at 2 miles visibility, 0 miles of visibility in Mount Pleasant. You cannot see anything at all there. 2¼ mile visibilities in Crockett and 2 miles visibility in Lufkin. Also 1½ mile visibilities in Athens. You can kind of see a little bit of haze there on our Nacogdoches cam. Not quite as bad there. However, some of the areas that we just saw, very, very thick fog across some of those areas. 50s and 60s for this morning and for this afternoon. And the rest of this morning, we'll see those temperatures increase into the low to mid 70s or up to the upper 70s by the early afternoon. Starting to see a couple of clouds out of the heat of the day as well. We'll see 80s all the way through the rest of this week and into this weekend. We are watching a ridge of high pressure moving in, and we'll see temperatures well above average. How long will that last, and when will our next chance of rain be? I'll let you know in your full 7-day forecast coming up later.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. After 43 days, the federal government is back open this morning. President Trump signed the funding bill into law into the Oval Office after a late-night House vote, ending the longest shutdown in American history. Here's the 3 things you need to know about the bill this morning. First, federal workers who were furloughed will start returning to work today. Second, full SNAP benefits will be restored, though it could take some time for states to do that. And third, airports may still face delays and cancellations for several days. The 6% flight cuts will remain in place for now. President Trump is pointing the fingers at congressional Democrats, but a new CBS News poll shows most Americans say both sides share the blame.
This is a big day, big night. It's very important what has taken place because we've seen how good government can be and how bad government can be if people don't know what they're doing.
The bill funds the government through the end of January, and for those on Obamacare, Democrats say you could see your health care costs more than double, but there's a bill in the works right now working to get that lowered. East Texas Congressman Nathaniel Moran told me he planned to vote yes on the bill, which he did, and he blamed Democrats for what he called weeks of political gamesmanship. Moran said Democrats blocked a similar proposal back in September, calling the shutdown unnecessary and costly for American workers.
It reaffirms the conclusion that this was really just political gamesmanship on behalf of the Democrats. They knew a long time ago that this is what needed to happen from a good policy standpoint, but they weren't willing to do it before the November 4th elections. They wanted to hold out. They wanted to make it look like that they were opposing Trump at every turn, but they knew that this was not good for the American people.
In a letter overnight, Moran said, in part, quote, after more than 40 days of unnecessary hardship, Senate Democrats finally accepted a common sense proposal to end the shutdown. The continuing resolution now gives lawmakers until the end of January to finalize the remaining bills. Governor Greg Abbott will head to Central Texas today on his re-election campaign after making his first stop in East Texas yesterday. CBS19's Ayanna Aird was at that rally and shares his key priorities on his campaign agenda, which include a tax system overhaul for Texans.
Proposals right here. I'm committed to getting this done. and I'm putting my name on it. Let's fight.
Following Governor Abbott's announcement that he'll seek re-election in 2026, he turned his focus Wednesday to a 5-step plan aimed at lowering property taxes across Texas.
I'm here today to keep more money in your pocket.
Abbott says his plan will help local jurisdictions curb property tax spending, a move he believes is crucial to addressing Texas's growing affordability and housing challenges.
Priority number one is stop the excessive spending, contain it by imposing limits on how much they can increase your spending.
He also wants a 2/3 voter approval for any tax increases. These are ideas that have a strong support among many Texans.
I'm involved with real estate, and so I really am interested in the property taxes because it is preventing people from buying a home because the property taxes have gone up so much.
Abbott pointed to the state's $51 billion in property tax relief, but Representative Cole Hefner says appraisal growth remains a challenge.
No other state has ever even come close to that kind of property tax relief, but they're still growing due to appraisals.
Abbott also promised to support small business owners, saying they drive Texas's economy.
They represent more than 95% of all businesses in this state, and we support our small businesses in the state of Texas.
So, this package that he has laid out is kind of a comprehensive approach. It addresses the appraisals, the spending growth, school district M&O spending from the local level, and so excited to see this package rolled out. Hopefully we can get it across the finish line.
Abbott also reaffirmed his support for law enforcement, saying he'll defund any city that defunds its police.
In Texas, we support our law enforcement officers, period.
If re-elected, Abbott will become the longest-serving governor in Texas history, entering his 4th term. I'm Ayanna Aird, CBS 19.
And while Governor Abbott spoke to supporters inside ETX Brewing Company, dozens of protesters lined the streets outside, making their voices heard about immigration enforcement and his re-election bid. This came just a day after many protesters gathered in downtown Tyler for a peaceful protest against recent immigration detentions and the Smith County Sheriff's Office cooperation with the federal 287G immigration enforcement program. Tyler Police spokesperson Andy Erbaugh says officers issued nearly 10 citations yesterday for excessive horn use, reminding drivers that Texas law only allows honking to warn of danger, not to make a statement. A Longview man accused of sexually assaulting a child has been arrested after authorities say he took off to California. 25-year-old Kavionta Patterson had a warrant out for his arrest. The Smith County Sheriff's Office says the crime was first reported earlier this month, and investigators quickly learned Patterson was trying to leave the state. Deputies say they came close to catching him several times, but he managed to slip away. That changed when Texas DPS and the California authorities got involved. Patterson is now charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child, and he's in jail on a $750,000 bond. Right now, Texas officials are keeping a close eye on livestock for the New World screwworm. It's a flesh-eating parasite that has the potential, that is, to wreck the cattle industry. The screwworm is the larval form of a fly that nests in the wounds of warm-blooded animals and slowly eats them alive. Earlier this week, that is, state inspectors were out along a highway south of San Antonio checking for signs of the flesh-eating parasite on livestock. Officials in Mexico have reported more than 800 active cases in cattle. Because of that, the U.S. blocked imports of live Mexican cattle for a second time over this summer.
So if they have an ear tag, you look behind the ear tag, if they have a cut, a scrape, anywhere where there's a break in the skin, that's where the screwworm will lay their eggs and the larvae will be found.
An outbreak of the New World screwworm began to spread across Central America in early 2023. It ended up reaching southern Mexico in late 2024. We're checking in on a developing story from across the state. Our investigative partners over at our sister station in Dallas have been digging into crashes involving 18-wheeler crashes. Dangerous and sometimes deadly. Now truckers, that is, are facing new inspections to make sure their big rigs meet updated safety standards. Investigative reporter Tanya Iser takes a closer look.
So today is one of the North Texas inspection details.
I'm good when you are, Jay.
All right, brake and hold.
The vehicles are picked at random. Typical things you'll find are problems with brake lines.
This is Carter pin here.
3 right, 1 3/4, stand by. Break.
I got like 1/4 of an inch.
Steve Wilhelms, North Texas trucking safety expert. It's the regional MIXAP or commercial vehicle enforcement officers.
Okay.
They inspect the vehicles and do a full level 1 inspection.
I got 1 right on 2 right.
To look for anomalies in unsafe trucks. Tires that are either flat, underinflated, or don't have the proper tread depth.
We got 30 regs on these puppies.
If you look, axle 4 and 5 has shifted. See how they're not in line? And all your bushings back here, those all need to be fixed. We found basically he has 2 brake lines that are cracked to the inner core, which means they have to be replaced. He's loaded. We don't know what his actual weight is, but I mean, it'd be hard for him to, in an emergency, to stop if he needed to be. All right, so we got quite a few things you're gonna have to be fixed before you leave here. We just pull whatever comes by us, just try to make the road safer.
In all, 46 trucks were inspected. Officers issued 277 violations and 16 citations. 30 vehicles and 5 drivers were put out of service. That's a 65% out of service rate.
Look, those are troubling numbers to be sure, no doubt about it. And from what I've been told, what officers saw during that inspection is actually the norm, not the exception. I'm Tanya Iser, WFA News.
Make sure to stay connected with what's happening across the Lone Star State with Texas News Now. It's your daily statewide newscast. It has the top headlines, the stories that matter, and weather from every corner of the state. Catch Texas News Now, streaming weekdays at 11 a.m. or anytime on demand on CBS19 Plus. Download it for free on your smart TV. 7:14 now, time now for your morning headlines. Now that the House is back in session, Speaker Mike Johnson says lawmakers will vote next week on releasing the Epstein files. This comes as newly released emails are calling into question what President Trump did or did not know about convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. But Trump has never been charged with any wrongdoing in this case and has long denied any knowledge of Epstein's sex trafficking operations. This morning, civil rights leader Jesse Jackson is in the hospital. The Rainbow Push Coalition says the 84-year-old is being looked at for complications related to neurodegenerative condition he's battled for years. Jackson rose to prominence in the 1960s, along with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., fighting for racial and economic justice. And you could say this doesn't make any sense anymore. The U.S. has officially stopped making pennies. The Philadelphia Mint rolled out its last batch yesterday after President Trump ended production because it costs 4 cents to make a 1-cent coin. You can still use the coins in your pocket, but don't expect any fresh change anytime soon. In big news for shoppers over in Longview, the new Fresh by Berkshire store is officially open. The grand opening ceremony was held yesterday on North Eastman Road, that's just north of the loop there. At 66,000 square feet, it is the largest Fresh location yet, which is about 10,000 square feet bigger than the original location in Tyler. Shoppers can also enjoy a stage for live music and a playground for kids. All right, check this out. Veterans Day may have passed, but we continue to pay respect to those who have served and are currently serving our country. Right now, Whataburger has a special deal happening every Tuesday all the way until the end of the year. They're offering veterans and active duty military members a free taquito during breakfast hours. Yeah, this new deal can be added with fast food chain's existing deal of a free 16-ounce hot or iced coffee for current military members and veterans. All right, let's get to our question of the day this morning. It's all about what makes you feel good all the time, right? We know some of those mornings, some of those days might be a little bit rough. We're talking about the traffic, the spilled coffee. We got a long to-do list every day, but sometimes the smallest acts can turn your day around. So what's one small thing that instantly makes your day better, Joel?
Yeah, music.
Music? What kind of music?
Oh, I love, I like my 80s and 90s music.
He does like his 80s.
I have a big appreciation for video game music as well.
Sorry, I just saw one of these comments.
Oh, okay. I was
it's too early, y'all. No, not you. It's too early. I caught a glimpse of one of them.
I threw him off guard.
No, but me too. Music too. It helps me wake up in the morning. Usually I just, hey Alexa, play whatever as I get ready.
You know, do you know what my alarm? Y'all know what I wake up to in the morning?
What is it?
Dire Dire Docks from Super Mario 64.
There we go.
There you go.
It works out. It wakes him up and it gets here every morning.
There you go.
People on Facebook chiming in. Lots of good answers. Samuel, come on, watch it. Watch it, Samuel. Vicky saying, seeing her grandson. Celia saying when someone tells her that they miss her or they pick up the phone whenever you call a friend. Sometimes, you call a friend, they don't pick up, so maybe it makes their day whenever that one friend picks up the phone.
Yeah, just receiving those phone calls too. It's
receiving them too.
Oh, you were thinking of me. That's nice,
Right. I like Jason's. He says, watching Morning Y'all every morning.
Oh.
Well, we appreciate that,
thank
Jason.
you.
Everyone at home, make our day better because we're doing this for you guys.
Thank
doing
you.
it for a reason. Deborah saying a good smile. Daryl saying a good cup of coffee. Keeping it classic, right?
There you go.
It wakes you up. And Betty saying just being with family. So lots of good things that make us smile this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Weather's going to make us smile too. And this traffic, not too bad either.
Yeah, no, not too bad. I mean, this afternoon going to be a much better weather scenario than this morning. We're dealing with some fog in some parts this morning, which could impact your morning commute. But overall, like looking at your I-20 report, we are doing just fine. Vehicle traffic, very smooth sailing. We got 2 hours over to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport this morning for you. And as for US 69, still going to be a very quiet one here. 2.5 hours up to Denison and an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin for you this morning. 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview. Tyler to Palestine is 55 minutes and 45 minutes from Tyler to Athens this morning. CBS 19 live radar is nice and dry here across the area. Got a couple of clouds overhead, but most of that is closer to the surface where it's a little bit more humid. Fog here across the area, down to 0 miles visibility in Mount Pleasant, 2 miles in Henderson, 2.25 in Croc, and also 2 miles in Lufkin. Very, very low numbers out there. Definitely be sure to use caution. Speaking of caution, I got the yellow lights all the way through 9 o'clock this morning. Temperatures, on the other hand, starting off on a little bit of a warmer note in the upper 50s, low 60s, 80s for this afternoon. Fog will burn off, have a couple of clouds left over. Otherwise, mostly sunny.
Sunny's good, Joel. Thanks so much. Hey, check this out. East Texas teams are heating up. Lindale is on a roll, and we've got your signing day stars that are ready to shine. That's all coming up next in sports. 7:19 this morning. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
Well, hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Searfoss. We're glad you're with us. The Lindale Eagles might have the best fall athletic season in the state of Texas. Yeah, the football team is kicking butt right now, but the volleyball team, that's where all the heat's at. This season has been far from perfect for the 2025 Lindale Eagle volleyball team. They won over 30 games. They also lost more district games than the last 2 seasons combined. But don't get it any kind of twisted. This Lindale season has gone exactly by the book.
We were reading a book, pound the stone, and that's kind of our motto. Just keep doing what we're doing, trust the process, it's gonna work.
Because don't forget, these are student athletes, and that comes with some homework outside of the weight room.
This year we read a book, it was Pound the Stone, we use it, we went over it every Monday. We recommend that book 100% because it can definitely get you through even lows, highs, anything you need.
Because there were definitely some lows this season for the Eagles.
We didn't start off super strong, and then district, we got third in district and couldn't win a fifth set, and we just kept practicing it, and I was like, just trust it, just pound that stone, and eventually we're gonna succeed.
And to quote the book itself, everyone wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires. And come playoff time, the Eagles got it done.
And I feel like once we got into playoffs, they just flipped a switch and they're like, hey, let's go do it.
And that switch led them all the way to the state semifinals game, the first state tournament game for the Lindale program since 1994.
It's something we kept thinking we could do, but we just didn't know if we actually would do it. So when I started seeing them play at the level I knew they could, I got really excited about that.
And now that final chapter of the season approaches. And as much credit as they give the book that got them there, it's time for them to write their own ending.
We go play with confidence. We're going to mess up. The other team's going to earn points, but we just keep going.
They ain't the only ones, though, in the video right now. That's Lindale playing Spring Hill in a tournament earlier this season. Little did both of those teams know they'd both be heading to the state semifinals. Spring Hill will be playing at Wilkerson Greens Activity Center at 1 this Saturday in the 4A D2 state semifinal. Lindale will be playing in the 4A D1 semifinal. They'll play at 4. And hey, this was one of the national signing days yesterday, and East Texans were scribbling their names all over the place. ARP's Nesai Potts and Lacey Fletcher signed to play softball at Central Baptist and Angelina College. Down in Longview, Bethany Baltz was dribbling her way to Southern Arkansas University, and over at Tyler Legacy, Joy Briner will play soccer at the University of Texas at Dallas, and Taylor Woods is going to play D1 volleyball at Louisiana Tech University. Congrats to all of the signees. Today kicks off the postseason for football, and man, this matchup is such a head scratcher for me because for the past 2 years, Malakoff has played in a state championship game. This year, they started off 2-3, and they also finished with a 5-game win streak. And they're taking on a Liberty Ilo team that's kind of in the same boat. Start slow, finish hot. I'll be at this one tonight with the highlights. And our game of the week is just as much of a toss-up because Atlanta looked like they were going to run all the way home with their district until Gladewater came in and stopped them in the last game of the season for them. Winsboro, on the other hand, has one of the most dangerous offenses in East Texas, and they beat Mount Vernon, who just beat Commerce, the top team in the district. And Commerce beat Malakoff, but Winsboro lost to Malakoff? So how good is Winsboro? I have no idea. But we'll get a measuring stick for them in our game of the week this Friday. And hey, Nico Harrison is gone, so that means the Mavericks are surely going to win now, right? Well, not exactly. They dropped this one to the Suns, 123-114 last night. Rockets, though, they looked great. Durant had 23 points. They win it 135-112. That's all I got for you. Morning, y'all.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much. Hey, we're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast for the quick news update. We'll be right back here with more on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. A former East Texas daycare worker has been sentenced to 10 years in prison after a video surfaced showing her abusing toddlers in her care. 45-year-old Catherine Kuzieka pled guilty to injury to a child. Investigators say the abuse happened at a Lindell daycare and went on for months before anyone knew about it. Court records show surveillance video caught Kuzieka kicking and pushing children, some just barely old enough to walk. She was fired that same day. The videos were discovered and arrested shortly after. State Representative Cody Harris has officially filed for re-election in Texas House District 8. Harris, a Republican, says it's been the honor of a lifetime to represent East Texas and promises to continue defending conservative values, protecting land and water, and supporting rural families as well. He also highlighted priorities like strengthening schools, securing the border, and ensuring local communities have strong voices in Austin. Harris thanked his supporters and said he looks forward to continuing the fight for East Texas if reelected. Well, with Tyler continuously growing, city planners are already mapping out how to keep traffic flowing. The City Council approved a $200,000 study to look at possible new connections between East Grande Boulevard, Old Omen Road, and Toll 49. The project will analyze traffic patterns, land use, and infrastructure to find the best routes for future expansion, all without disrupting neighborhoods. It's part of a long-term plan by the Tyler Area Metropolitan Planning Organization and NetRMA to prepare for the city's next wave of development. Work on the study will start later this year and should be done sometime next year. And meanwhile, a new overpass could soon make travel so much smoother along Estes Parkway in Longview. The project will lift Texas 149 over the Union Pacific Railroad tracks near Eastman Chemical Company. The Longview Metropolitan Planning Organization hopes to start construction by sometime in 2034 using existing funds, and a 30-day public comment period that is open now for those who would like to weigh in. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. Fog is still out and about in portions of East Texas.
That's right, and luckily that will start to burn off into the rest of this morning. We'll see high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Lots of sunshine, maybe a couple of clouds, but otherwise mainly just dealing with some sunshine here across the area. Low to moderate fire danger at this point, a definite improvement from yesterday thanks to the lowering wind speeds. We're going to be watching our ridge of high pressure here for the next several days. That's going to keep us very dry, also very warm, well above average for this time of year. We're also keeping an eye on this wave right here off the west coast. That's going to be bringing in the chance for some showers and thunderstorms into parts of next week. We're going to keep an eye on that and keep you updated on that as we head into the rest of this week. But in the meantime, very dry conditions and temperatures well above average in the low to mid 80s with a couple of clouds, mainly just again dealing with some sunshine. And then the wave eventually will move in by Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday.
Welcome back here to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. Tap to Pay is quick and it's convenient. We all know that, but the Better Business Bureau is warning of ghost tapping, where your card can be charged without your knowledge. Just ahead, we'll show you how to protect yourself this holiday season. Plus, Starbucks Red Cup Day is here, but thousands of union workers are striking over contract disputes. The latest on that coming up.
And we've got very dry conditions over the next several days, but our next chance of rain set to arrive into next week. I'll show you what we know in your forecast coming up later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Happy Thursday and good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon has the week off. Governor Greg Abbott will head to Central Texas today on his re-election campaign after making his first stop in East Texas yesterday. During his visit in Tyler, Abbott outlined a 5-step plan to curb local property tax spending and also boost small business support. And while the governor spoke to supporters inside, the scene outside told a very different story. Dozens of demonstrators voiced frustration over local participation in federal immigration enforcement and called for changes, even as that campaign chants carried from inside the brewery. Here's CBS 19's Robert De La Garza.
Hundreds of protesters lined the streets outside of ETX Brewery Wednesday, blocking traffic in both directions just ahead of Governor Abbott's re-election campaign stop in Tyler.
It's great. I think the people are out and they are there speaking their minds. You know, the Latino community is waking up and they're saying that they won't stand for it.
Demonstrations gathered in a peaceful protest voicing frustration over the Smith County Sheriff's Office taking part in the federal 287G immigration enforcement program.
People are scared to go to work, take their kids to work, take their kids to school. People should not be living in fear just because somebody thinks that they're a criminal, you know?
Chants of "No more ICE" and "Abbott's got to go" could even be heard inside during the governor's campaign.
Messages we're having here, what I see here is that we should be treated as equal citizens no matter what we are.
Officers worked to keep crowds off the streets and away from nearby businesses along Broadway. Despite the peaceful tone, several protesters said it wasn't them, but supporters driving by who were stopped by police.
So it's been, and the police actually, I did understand that they were passing out tickets for people that were honking.
Tyler Police spokesperson Andy Erball says officers issued close to 10 citations for excessive horn use, noting Texas law prohibits prolonged or unnecessary honking unless it's a warn of danger. But Smith County Democratic Chair Hector Garza called it, quote, discrimination and injustice, saying it only fired up the community more.
You woke the wrong community. You know, I've heard the GOP, I've heard everybody talking about woke, oh, woke, woke, woke. This is woke. This is woke.
This comes just a day after another large rally on Veterans Day, with both protests seeing a strong youth turnout.
Youth is power, and our generation can make a change if we just try and continue. Even if there's so much hate against us trying it's gonna make a difference.
Both the next generation and the previous fighting in unity.
There's one value that means more than anything, that means more than money, that means more than community, it's family. Now you're messing with family. Now they're tearing apart families.
Reporting in Smith County for CBS 19, I'm Robert De La Garza.
And with the growing concerns about immigration enforcement, an East Texas attorney is stepping up to help a community event. Nick Pacina, who has more than 13 years of experience in civil litigation, says he's proud of people that are getting involved in the community and making their voices heard.
Regardless of where you stand on issues, and specifically immigration, I think that it's important for the community to get involved. The more involved the community is, the more representation you have, the more of a voice you have. So the fact that people are protesting peacefully, I think is the most American thing you can do, because our entire country was founded on a protest.
Pacina says the event is designed to give families peace of mind, ensuring that if anything happens, their children are cared for by designated caregivers. By the way, that event starts today at 7 o'clock at Salinas Events. State Representative Cody Harris has officially filed for re-election in the Texas House District 8. Harris, a Republican, says it's been the honor of a lifetime to represent East Texas and promised to continue defending conservative values, protecting land and water, and supporting rural families. He also highlighted priorities like strengthening schools, securing the border, and ensuring local communities have a strong voice in Austin. Harris thanked his supporters and said he looks forward to continuing to fight for East Texas if reelected. The Supreme Court will kick off the new year hearing several cases. The High Court will hear a couple of those cases that will challenge state laws banning biological men from women's sports. The justices will also weigh arguments in President Trump's attempt to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. 4 other cases are on the docket during the January 12th to 21st term, and the High Court is expected to hand down those decisions in those cases sometime before June. Close at home now over in Angelina County, Lufkin High School went on a secure status yesterday after reports of a student claiming to have a gun. Students and staff remained in classrooms while school officials and law enforcement searched on that campus. After a thorough investigation, authorities confirmed the threat was false and a weapon was not found. Lufkin ISD stressed that all threats are taken seriously and said it will pursue legal actions as appropriate. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is celebrating NASDAQ's decision to launch a new financial exchange here in the Lone Star State. The governor says NASDAQ Texas could expand financial services across the state and create more investment opportunities. Now, if approved by the U.S. Securities and Exchange, it will take on NASDAQ's main competitor, the New York Stock Exchange Texas, which launched in Dallas earlier this year. And make sure to stay connected with what's happening across the Lone Star State with Texas News Now. It's your daily statewide newscast with the top headlines, stories that matter, and weather from all over the state. Catch Texas News Now streaming later today at 11 a.m. or anytime on demand on CBS 19 Plus, which you can download for free on your smart TV. Well, it is Red Cup Day at Starbucks, and customers who order a drink can also get a free holiday reusable cup at locations nationwide. That is, while supplies last. We know those go pretty quickly. Meanwhile, thousands of unionized Starbucks workers are also walking off the job today for what they're calling a Red Cup rebellion over the lack of a labor contract deal. Now, earlier this week, dozens of U.S. lawmakers wrote letters to Starbucks CEO urging to return to contract talks. The company, however, said it's willing to negotiate, but has called the workers' demands unreasonable. 7:38 now. 'Tis the season for scammers, and now they've found a new way to steal your money, even if you don't even swipe your card. The Better Business Bureau is warning shoppers of contactless payment. It's a scam that's easy to target through an easy way to pay. CBS's Evan Moon explains ghost tapping.
No wallet, no problem. Tap to Pay has become a popular way for quick and convenient checkouts. But the Better Business Bureau is warning shoppers to slow down to avoid a threat called ghost tapping.
Ghost tapping is when your Tap to Pay card is secretly charged without your knowledge, or you tap it and then it's charged multiple times.
The technology can take your money without ever touching your card, using its NFC or near field communications, how two electronic devices talk to each other.
When those communications are intercepted, it allows a bad guy to essentially use your credit card for unauthorized transactions. The good news is a bad guy has to be within inches of either your mobile phone or your credit card in order to skim that information.
These crimes come as touch-free payments are on the rise. More than half of Americans are using mobile wallets like Apple Pay, according to MasterCard.
If you love using Tap to Pay, you're not alone. It's almost effortless. But as we head into the busy holiday shopping season, experts say there are some ways you can make sure you don't get tapped out by these scammers.
Melanie McGovern with the Better Business Bureau says be vigilant in crowds.
The first time I heard about this was at a concert, that people were reporting that they had charges that they weren't familiar with, and it happened after they attended a concert. So when you're in close quarters and there's Christmas festivals coming up, holiday festivals, marketplaces, things like that.
Cybersecurity expert Robert Siciliano's #1 piece of advice is to pay close attention to all card activity.
Is to set up push notifications or push alerts so you can dispute them with your credit card company.
So this holiday shopping season, make a list and check your taps twice. Evan Moon, CBS News, New York.
All good advice there. All right, check this out. While most people prefer cats or dogs, one family decided to adopt a goat. Interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting. Anyways, they used the animals to eat the weeds and clear the yard, but they quickly realized the goats were bringing joy to the whole neighborhood. That's quite a few of them, actually. That sparked a free community activity where anyone can walk, feed, or just hang out with the four-legged stars, even when the goats aren't roaming. You can catch them just 24/7 on a stream. Neighbors say these goats have put the corner of Boise bench on the map.
Wow.
I didn't realize goats were so well behaved.
Yeah, they're very. They're just kind of walking like a dog too.
That's what surprised me. I was like, goats? Nah.
No. Wow.
Usually they go charge at you, but
yeah, they're actually pretty tame
and therapeutic.
Yeah, very nice.
Surprise. Anyways, that baffled me. Anyways, where's Waldo, right? That's the daily challenge for patients at U.S. Davis Medical Center in Sacramento, California, every day. There he is. There's Waldo. The 6-foot-tall Waldo has moved somewhere new among the building that's currently under construction. That sits between both the children's hospitals. The idea came from the project's safety manager as a way to give the kids something to look forward to every single day. Both sides of the building get their Waldo to search for every day, and the team also gifted both hospitals Where's Waldo books? That's interesting.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It reminds me of the I Spy books.
Yes.
As well. Yeah, just like searching for those.
Hated those.
Really?
Because I could never find the items.
I had a game on the Wii.
Yeah.
It was I Spy Spooky Mansion.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
No, I was never good at crossword puzzles, these like fun games, like those type of games. I love them now.
You gotta have patience for them.
You really do.
Sure.
And I did not have patience as a kid. Hasn't gone any better. But it's better than it was when I was a kid. So I'll probably do those crosswords. Like, you know, those tedious coloring books that are very detailed? I'll do them now. Back then,
no. Our attention spans are different
They
back
are.
then, you know?
But we're working on it.
Yes.
We're working on it. All right. Well, this might be something to celebrate as well. A national park in Kenya says they've confirmed the birth of an endangered eastern black rhino calf. The baby was photographed with its mom by one of the park's 42 camera traps, and the birth marks the second rhino calf born at the park in just less than 2 years. It also brings the population of eastern black rhinos up to 9. The Big Life Foundation says it has dozens of rangers who patrol the park to monitor the rhinos. That's how they discovered the tiny 3-toed footprints and made the connection that the calf was born.
Brings it up to 9, huh?
That's only 9.
Only 9.
Which
wow.
is crazy. I mean, they are endangered.
Endangered with a capital E.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
Now they're populating more. Hopefully they'll get off that endangered list here pretty soon.
Yeah, no, that's great.
All right, let's get I think what's next?
I think it's
time
for a little
I did this yesterday too.
Yeah, I think it's time for a little bit of weather. Yeah, perhaps a little bit of brain fog. Speaking of fog, speaking of fog. We got some fog kind of here and there across the area. It has improved since the last time we kind of were watching these visibilities here. We're still down to about 2.5 miles of visibility in Carthage and a mile and a quarter in Mount Pleasant. And we also have a little bit of light haze over Deep East Texas. These are far better numbers than what we've been seeing the past few hours here. So that's some good news there. Still gonna watch out for maybe a couple of areas of dense fog, like especially in Carthage, down to 2.5 miles of visibility. At this point, you can see kind of on our Nacogdoches cam, just a little bit of light haze. That's kind of the residual fog out there. But otherwise, it looks so much better out there. 55 degrees in some of our eastern counties. And as we go further to the west, we got some 60s popping up in Henderson, Jacksonville, Palestine, and Crockett, and also up to the north in Sulphur Springs this morning. We'll continue to watch those temperatures increase well above average into the middle to upper 70s. I think we'll have a shot for 80 degrees in some parts of the area for today. A couple of clouds. Otherwise, lots of sunshine for us today, and that will be the case into the next 3 days. It's a very, very quiet 3-day forecast as we go forward here. 80s for today, 80s for tomorrow, 80s into your weekend, mostly sunny skies. How long will that last? Well, I'll let you know in your full 7-day forecast coming up later.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. It's still ahead. She climbed, and she's living an active life. She never smoked again. So imagine this shocking diagnosis. We're going to learn more about this coming up. 7:47. Welcome back. About every 2 minutes in the U.S., someone is diagnosed with lung cancer. That's according to the American Lung Association. And experts say a disturbing trend is on the rise. Up to 20% of lung cancer each year happens in people who have never smoked or smoke very little. And many of them are younger too. Mandy Gaither has one mom's story and what's believed to be the rise of this disease in non-smokers.
Christy Hooveris has conquered Mount Kilimanjaro, is 36 years old, lives an active life, doesn't smoke, and is in the prime of her life with a husband and 2 young children. So you can imagine her shock when 4 months ago she was diagnosed with lung cancer.
This is a joke, right? Like, I don't have lung cancer. There's no way.
Hooveris says even the doctors didn't believe it, but after feeling chest pain, multiple tests were ordered, and she says a mass was detected in her upper right lobe.
When I got the PET scan done, that spot lit up like a Christmas tree.
Unfortunately, the face of lung cancer is changing.
Dr. Ioana Bayou with the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center says right now only people ages 50 to 80 with a smoking history are recommended to be screened for lung cancer. But the disease can be caused by several factors, including environmental exposures to things like radon, asbestos, and air pollution. Genetics, having a family history, or certain gene mutations also raises the risk, as does breathing in secondhand smoke.
As a patient, you know your body better than anybody else, and so you deserve a thorough investigation if you have any symptoms that you're concerned about.
Through surgery, Bayou was able to remove all of Hooveris's cancer and part of her lung. And since the disease was detected early, she didn't need chemotherapy, immunotherapy, or radiation.
I'm at full recovery. I'm back to picking up my kids and doing all the fun stuff.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, let's get back to our question of the day this morning. It's all about what brings you joy this morning, right? Here it is. What's one small thing that instantly makes your day better? Earlier we talked about family, phone calls, music makes us happy. What makes you, so you talked about before work. What makes you happy after work?
After work, I mean, calling my fiance
Yeah.
or my parents, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long distance is hard.
Long distance is hard, yeah. She's long, we're at a long distance right now, but next year, June 2026, getting married.
Counting down. Early congratulations to Joel.
Thank you.
Of course. I think for me, it's just decompressing and just watching a TV show.
Yes, absolutely.
Like reading, but I read for a living. I write for a living. So I feel like if I watch something, it just
it's
better.
It's different. You know?
It is.
You gotta do something a little bit different, than what you've been doing all day. Sometimes I have a hard time putting away the weather apps. You know,
right?
I love. I eat it up.
Same thing for me. Sometimes it's hard for me to get off news, but it is what it is. We got to stay tuned for all what's happening.
Exactly.
People on Facebook, same thing, saying families, good cup of coffee in the morning, a nice smile, just hanging around with families. Holiday is right around the corner. Perfect time to do that. And so this weather too. Maybe it'll make you happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, this weather is fantastic. Yesterday, if you liked yesterday, today it's gonna be a lot of the same, maybe a little bit warmer in some spots. Here's today's highs. Upper 70s, low 80s in some spots today. Very comfortable, low humidity, lots of sunshine, couple of clouds. Overall, just a beautiful day to be outside. Also, winds a little bit lighter than they have been for the past few days. That's really helping us out when it comes to fire danger. Low to moderate at this point. A definite improvement from what we've been seeing the past few days. Now, unfortunately, that is set to kind of get worse as we head into this weekend. We are expecting those wind speeds to start to pick up. But in the meantime, still going to be watching for this area of high pressure in our upper levels, this ridge of high pressure moving in, bringing us very quiet weather over the next several days. Not a whole lot of activity expected until we get to next week. This is the culprit right here, this wave pattern that we're going to be watching moving in at some point next week, likely around the middle of next week, potentially bringing us our next chance of rain, maybe some strong thunderstorms in there as well. Future Skycast models it out here on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Got some heavier spots within this rain that will likely develop ahead of this wave. Also, the low pressure area that develops underneath the wave, that'll bring in some cooler temperatures and of course plenty of rainfall. Now, It's important to realize that this is not exactly what the radar is going to look like, but it looks at least something similar to this. This is a lower resolution model, so it's going to be kind of blobby, but we do understand that rain is definitely going to be a likely possibility as we head into the middle of next week ahead of that wave. Currently, the forecast over the next 7 days shows at least a half an inch, maybe even an inch of rainfall likely across I-20 and further to the north. You can see some of those red colors up there north of I-30. That's going to be some spots where they could possibly see at least 2.5, maybe even 3 inches of rain. So that's something we're going to be having to watch for as we go forward. But in the meantime, still going to be watching for that ridge of high pressure to really keep things nice and calm and very sunny. Also very warm, well above average for this time of year in the low to mid 80s, 84 by Monday. And then that storm set to arrive sometime Tuesday into Wednesday, likely into Thursday as well. Extreme East Texas Cold Truth that airs tonight on CBS 19 and CBS 19 Plus at 6:30.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Hey, looking forward to that special, by the way. We're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with the quick news updates. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus in just a couple of minutes. Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. Governor Greg Abbott will head to Central Texas today on his re-election campaign after making his first stop in East Texas yesterday. This is after announcing his re-election bid on Sunday. Now, during his first visit in Tyler, Abbott outlined a 5-step plan to curb local property tax spending and boost small business support as well. Meanwhile, big changes are coming to the city of Hawkins. A Smith County judge has overturned the election for Alderman Seat 5 after finding major issues with how votes were counted. Norma Oglesby and Jackie Burns ran for that seat back in May. Burns was first called the winner, 70 votes to Oglesby's 65 votes, but a judge found significant discrepancies between the number of ballots cast and the number of ballot signatures. Judge Taylor Heaton said some election workers failed to get voters to sign in, invalidating more than 100 ballots. In his ruling, the judge said the errors hurt the integrity of the election and ordered the results to be tossed out. The seat will remain empty until 2026, with a new election set for May 2nd. Well, there's big news for Longview shoppers. The brand new Fresh by Brookshire's is now open. The grand opening ceremony, that is, was held yesterday on Northeast Min Road, just north of the Loop. At 66,000 square feet, it is the largest Fresh location yet. It's actually 10,000 square feet bigger than the original Tyler store. Shoppers can also enjoy a stage for live music and a playground for kids. And Joel, today might be the perfect day to go out, do those errands, do those shoppings, and go have some fun in a playground.
Absolutely. I mean, outstanding weather is anticipated for this afternoon. Well above average temperatures. You can see our average high, 68 degrees. A little bit close to record. We're going to be off by about 6 degrees or so, but still warmer than average. Upper 70s, low 80s, very comfortable with that low humidity. Lots of sunshine to go around as well. Also, fire danger is lower this afternoon and basically for today, as that low humidity kind of sticks around, but also the wind speeds have also slowed down or are expecting to slow down into today. So that is some very good news there. We are going to continue to track this ridge of high pressure in our upper levels. This is basically what we're going to be staring at for quite some time here. This is basically the driver on these warm temperatures and these dry conditions, these sunny conditions. This is going to be the picture for the next several days here until we get to next week. Then we have this wave that's going to be moving through. This will bring us our next chance for some rain. So over the next 7 days, we are expecting at least a half an inch, maybe even an inch of rainfall closer to I-30 and southeastern Oklahoma. Of course, this is subject to change, and we'll keep you updated throughout the week. Your 7-day forecast, it's a beautiful one. Until then, temperatures in the low 80s, lows in the low 60s, lots of sunshine here. That system eventually moving in by the time we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, and especially Thursday, could have a couple strong storms as well.
Just after 8 o'clock this morning, news before you head out the door. After 43 days, the federal government is back open this morning. President Donald Trump signed a bill overnight to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Now, the bill funds the government through late January and includes 3 longer-term spending bills. Yesterday, the FAA announced plans to freeze flight reductions at 6%. It could be days before air travel takes back up to normal, with some airlines requiring 1 to 2 days notice before returning operations to 100%. Governor Greg Abbott will head to Central Texas today on his re-election campaign after making his first stop in East Texas yesterday. During his visit in Tyler, Abbott outlined a 5-step plan to curb local property tax spending and boost small businesses as well. And with Tyler's steady growth, the city planners are working to keep traffic moving. We all know it can be a headache out there sometimes. The city council just approved a $200,000 study to explore new connections between East Grande, Old Omen Road, and as well as 1249. Work begins later this year for that study and should wrap up and be ready by next year.
Well, we got a very beautiful 7-day forecast for you as we take a look here. We got low 80s all the way through the rest of this week. Low humidity, light wind speeds for the most part until we get to this weekend. That's kind of mitigating that fire danger risk. So that's some good news there. We're of course going to keep you updated on the weekend. However, those conditions are expected to worsen by then. But in the meantime here, very dry conditions, lots of sunshine here. Also well above average temperatures in the low to mid 80s, 84 degrees possible by your Monday. And then our next chance of rain aiming for the middle of next week. Could have some stronger storms in there. Again, the timing of it is still kind of up in the air, but the data is currently showing it for next week. Either way, we are going to be getting some rain at some point into next week.
We'll enjoy the dry weather while we can.
Indeed.
All right, hey, check this out. You can now take care of your sore throat in style. The Swiss brand Ricola is now offering scarves infused with essential oils of the brand's signature herbal alpine smell. Now, the scarves come in 2 different scents, aromas. It is lemon balm mint and peppermint. There's even a secret pocket, you see it right there, to stash all your real cough drops in there. Ricola says the scarves will be up for sale on their website on Wednesday, but it is for a limited edition. So I don't know how well I would take that.
Well, I mean, honestly, you got to really be, in some colder temperatures too. I mean, if it's a scarf, it's going to obviously keep you warm as well on top of the, treating that cough.
My thing is, I don't know if it'll attract bugs.
Oh,
that's a thing.
That's true.
Bugs love a good lemony, citrusy. Some don't, but some love a good lemony, citrusy smell. So,
yeah, I will say, I mean, especially in the colder months, you don't get as many bugs.
Which is
good. I mean, and you wear you wear that type of thing in the colder months. So, kind of makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you so much for continuing your day with us here on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. Make sure to catch the noon show coming up on CBS 19 as well. And here on our channel, keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Here's a look at what's coming up later today. Have a great morning. We'll see you back here tomorrow.